Hey guys, it's Glenn from GlennCarCollection.com, and today we're going to talk about the 2021 changes to the C8 Corvette. Now, if you see my video on the C8 Corvette, I really love this car. Very rarely, I've driven 700 cars on the channel since we started 3 years ago, and you could watch all those reviews, browse the channel, but very rarely has a car actually exceeded my expectations. Have I driven it and said, wow, this is better than I thought? And I had high expectations. As a 3-time Corvette owner, I've had very high expectations with the C8 Corvette, and that car really impressed me. I can just imagine how good the Z06 and the Grand Sport and the ZR1 and all the other models are. Well, like anything else, there's changes for 2021, and Corvette usually does make a lot of changes. If you look through the history, the 2015s had a lot of changes over the 2014s. The 2006 had a lot of changes over the 2005s. The 98s had a lot of changes over the 97s. The 85s for the 84s, and so on down the road. So we can expect the same thing for 2021. Now, I already did a video about the options. So essentially, and you can watch that. I'll link it over here somewhere, or I'll put it at the end of the video. So we did a recent video where they raised the option prices for 2021. So they kept the base prices essentially the same and knocked up all the options. So to get a similarly equipped car as you would for a 2020 model year, you're going to spend a couple thousand more in options. Now, if you get a newer car, you'll probably make that up in resale value, but you will pay more for the 2021. As expected, it always goes up in value. All right, so before we go into those changes for 2021, let's talk about the car itself first. So it came out in 2020. It was introduced about a year ago, and I think delivery started in the winter time, maybe January, February, if I remember correctly. And then the factory was shut down for a couple months with COVID, so they're still fulfilling orders. So for 2020, they're going to be filling 2020 orders towards the end of this year. So the 2021 model isn't actually coming out until the end of this year. So it's got a 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8 known as the LT2. It has 495 horsepower, 470 foot-pounds of torque. And let me tell you something, after driving it, if you told me it has 600 horsepower, I'd believe you. So we got a base price of just under $60,000 and a 0 to 60 time of just under 3 seconds. And I'm telling you, the car felt as fast as my McLaren 570S, for a fraction of the price. I still love that it's a target top. To me, Corvettes are fun cars. You get to hear the sound. This car handles better than any Corvette I've ever driven or ever owned. I think the Targa gives you more wind in the hair, even though I'm not a convertible person. I love Targas on Corvettes, except for my Z06, they were all Targas. And just like the wind experience, you just hear the engine and exhaust sounds better and stuff like that. Now, the car that I drove, the car that you're seeing in this video, is my friend's car. And it's Elkhart Lake Blue with the Adrenaline Red interior. And it just has 3 options: upgraded wheels, the LT2 package, and the Z51. So it had a base price of, I think, $73,900 for that car. For that price, it blows anything away. I mean, that car new is cheaper than my 911 base that I have, my 2017 Miami Blue. What it's missing, of course, is a manual transmission. Would it be better than a manual? I think it would. I really love manual transmissions because I think that I'm doing something. But I was really impressed. So one of the things that exceeded my expectations was that dual clutch transmission. It was a lot better than I thought. I thought, oh, GM's first dual clutch, it's going to be rough, and that's going to limit the car. Then you're kind of stuck in 2020 technology. 5 or 10 years from now, you buy this car used for a fantastic price, and you're like, oh, it's got a dual clutch from 2020. They were horrible then, So a manual will drive the same today as it will 10 years from now and 20 years from now, and it always feels great. Where a dual clutch, you're kind of limited by the technology. Like, you wouldn't want to go back to an iPhone 1, would you? Of course not. So you don't want to do that with dual clutch. But I would buy it with a dual clutch. It really impressed me. I was really impressed with that car, which says something, certainly. And the handling was good. This had the Z51 package, so we had the stiffer tweak suspension, the bigger brakes. Brakes are important when you're adding power and speed. You want to have brakes, even if you're not going to the track. You want to, if you're doing spirited driving at your favorite canyon road or mountain roads that we have here in northern New Jersey or in New York State, you need brakes, especially if you're going to be driving harder in the turns. The last thing you want is more acceleration and can't stop. Braking is way more important of those two things. Now, recently they started producing the convertible. This is probably the first time I consider a convertible. If I remember looking at the prices, they're at least $5,000 more, but then you don't have to really deal with the roof or anything and taking on and off. You press a button and the top is up, is down, and you choose. And I think it looks really good. It almost looks exotic with the with the roof off on the convertible. I would even say in some angles the convertible could look better for the coupe. So just so I don't get some changes here. So what's been debated on the forums, and I posted my video on the forums so people could see it, my friend did not have mag ride with a Z51 car, and I thought the car was fine. And maybe I'm used to more sports cars, but the ride in the new Corvette was incredible, and that was without the mag ride. So before you could only get the mag ride of Z51, so the debate on the forums were, well, if you get a Z51, do you need the mag ride or not? I think more people thought that you did and you didn't. And after driving the car, and even on New Jersey's rough roads, because we don't have any smooth roads here in New Jersey, I would say that you don't need it. I would say if you want to get it, but I don't think you need it at all. So the big news for 2021 that'll make everybody else happy who doesn't get the Z51, who's maybe using it more as a daily driver, though I can say even with the Z51 and out without mag ride, I think it's still comfortable enough to be a daily driver. But now all the standard Corvettes, base car, I hate to call it a base car, but the non-Z51 Vettes, you can get mag ride optional, which I know a lot of people love that. I know so many people that would have gotten it that weren't choosing Z51 cars. Also, you can have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So we're sitting in my 2020 BMW M340i xDrive. We have wireless CarPlay in here. We're my 2017 991.2 base 911 manual. Next to us does not. You have to actually plug that in with the cord to get the Apple CarPlay, where here in this car is wireless. So that's an upgrade to most people, well, to everybody. I think they would love that upgrade. There's also going to be a new screen, so when you change modes, that's actually going to come up on the 2021 cars, and I think this is real cool. And it's going to tell you what is actually changing. Is it steering, suspension, that kind of feel? So a lot of times you may press the buttons, you don't know what you're actually changing. This is going to give you that, which I think is so cool. And the Corvette comes in like 12 colors or something like that, which is amazing, which is fantastic, actually. Thank you, Chevy and GM, for doing that. And all the colors are awesome. I don't think there's one bad car for the C8 Corvette. But they are already replacing blade silver, and they're going to go with some kind of silver flare metallic, which to me looks more like a grayer or mineral silver, but it looks really cool. So I think we can expect, these cool changes for the 2021 model year. Unfortunately, the car was priced low to get all these orders, and they've already made thousands of cars, and they're going to have thousands of sales. I think they could produce up to 40,000 cars in a year. Again, this wasn't a complete year, but they're going to have a lot of Vettes on the road. But the great news is this is just the base model. It's going to keep getting better and better. And if you have a 2020 car or already have one on order, I can tell you for sure you're going to love it. So definitely get one of the cars. Now, if you're thinking of flipping your car, with them still making 2020s, now's the time to do it, especially that the weather's still warm. Once the weather turns cold, and 2021s with the changes, none of them are really crazy changes. If you're going to flip your car, flip it now. If you're getting $100,000 offered like my friend was in that car, do it, because the 2021s are coming on, and that's going to kill, I think, any markups on the 2020. So those dealers out there that are still asking $100,000, $110,000, $120,000 for this car, you better sell those cars soon, because it's already September, and now you're going to have, those cars. Just same thing with the Supra. They were asking crazy prices for the Supra, and now dealers are giving you big discounts on the 2020. Now, the 2021 model Supra, I would say, have more changes where you want the 2021 over the 2020. But the Corvette, unless you're changing colors or really care about the wireless CarPlay or have to have the mag ride, and to me that's going to be the big one, because I think people love that mag ride because it's so good and it is phenomenal, that you're going to want it in the 2021 for the non-Z51 people. We think as car enthusiasts, 90% of people getting Z51s, but it's probably more like 30 or 40%. Maybe it's even less than that. So most of the people want that mag ride, and they're in the majority, not the Z51 cars. Again, I don't really think you need it, but if you're going to use it as a daily driver, certainly it can't hurt to have it. So let me know what your comments below on the C8 Corvette. Browse our channel. We've had 700 different cars. Have you seen all 700? I'm a car collector. I've owned 100 cars personally myself over the period of time. And, like and share this video so our channel can grow. Always leave a positive comment below. I respond to your comments, so there's no reason not to leave it. And remember to hit that subscription button and the notification bell, because I post 3 videos a week every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern. Hit the notification bell, because a lot of times I give you extra videos. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.